Namaste. Why I am upset when a person doesn't call me whom I helped a lot. I will discuss about this topic so that your mind is clear, free, and remains full of joy. I am depressed. One another woman also she is also approaching, I think, in her 50s. Why I'm depressed if a person I'm attached does not respond to me because you are attached. The answer is simple. But to understand this attachment, which causes the delusion, results into foolishness, leads to suffering, we need to understand. What happens if we understand? Your understanding releases all the attachment and anxiety and duality and conflict. This is what we are going to talk in this session today. Would be a good topic so that you revise. I was talking to that same 89 years old woman. She is so much committed. When I first came to United States, she met me in 2007 and she is still continuing. Why? Uh, she has anxiety now. Stress? No. She says that if I continue to be in your association, you are teaching me something every time something new, and which keeps my mind in order. I see my friends, she was saying, I see my friends, they are all crazy. They think a lot about their kids, about their honey, and about their lot of people, and their mind is just busy. And when my mind is busy with the people, events, things outside in the material world, I have to be crazy. She was so clear about it. But it does not mean that you don't talk to the relations and kids and people. No, you talk. Minus attachment, that causes the delusion, uh, causes the foolishness, results into suffering. So she still talks about her kids, and you'll be surprised that she is helping every month one of her son, almost $2,000 or $3,000 a month. So she was saying to me today in the morning that her attachment has gone and it is replaced by an affection. It is replaced by a sense of compassion. What? I said, what? Should we stop our sessions? No. You teach me other text. Because I don't want to leave before I'm awakened. So let us understand totally in a different way what is given to us by nature, or I would say, what the nature has given us which we had never thought of, never imagined. Pay attention, your attention is required. So the nature has given us the body, breath, mind, intellect, ego. Ego is also part of the nature, yes. But question is how to understand at a basic level. body, breath, mind, intellect, and ego. So our master says that if you want to understand at a basic level, it will help you to get rid of all the anxieties, dualities, and conflict. And that is what we are trying to understand. So you see that when you say body, breath, mind, intellect, and ego, we say there are eight elements. Five are five elements which we know: the space, air, fire or energy, water, and the earth. One scientist calculated mathematically that if you remove the space from the body, all the space between the blood cells, space between the bones, space between the muscles, and etc., 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 your body would look like the size of this phone. You remove the water, what will be the size of the body? Shape and the size of the body like a small matchbox. Why I am saying so? We are saying that nature has given us those eight elements, five elements including the mind, intellect, and the ego. That is what we are composed of, and behind that there is a real self. It is hidden inside, and that is what we want to discover. When we discover that real self of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom, we have completed our journey of awakening and realization. Second point. So the nature gave us the eight elements by which our body, breath, mind, intellect, and ego is composed of. The nature gave the same to all the living beings. All the living beings. What are all those living organisms? Including the plants and the insects and the pets that you have. You have a lot of pets. You have lizard, you have birds, you have turtle. When I met you in your house, I saw the turtle, and then I saw the different kinds of lizard, and you care them. You care them? Say yes. Do they care you? So you are not attached. But in a sense, you are attached. So, third point. You have to understand, summarize, and send back to me the way this 89-year-old woman does every week. She thinks for continuously, then she writes, she edits, and then she sends. So what happens? She writes, she listens, then she writes. It is a part of contemplation and reflection. She edits, and then she sends. So the third point is the nature and intelligence of the nature is working in all the living beings, including me, you, everyone. At the time of the birth, we were born. We did not create our mind, intellect, and ego. We did not create this body. We did not create the five sense organs in the mind. Similarly, the nature is also guided by the intelligence for the sake of understanding. Let us see it is a natural intelligence. Nature, or you can say it's a nature's intelligence. It is the nature's intelligence in the insect. Or take an example of an ant who finds a specific uh, food like a particle, she recognizes and she brings in her beehive. It is the nature's intelligence. The lion catches the prey of deers and eat it. Even if the other food is available, the fruits are available in the woods, in the forest, the leaves are available. But the leaves, nature's intelligent, uh, nature's intelligent, the buffaloes and the deers, they eat the grass. They don't think. It is the nature's intelligence is working. I'm coming to the main topic. Don't worry. But once you understand it clearly, so when you are taking care of the pets, find out if you give them the food that they are not given by the nature's intelligence, they will refuse it. But we take all kinds of food. And I'm coming to that. I'm just making you aware. It's a very important topic. So you have to listen to it, understand it again and again. We don't question why the lion eats flesh, why the cows, the buffaloes eat, or rhino eats grass, and so all the living organism. Why the banyan tree is so tall? Why the herb is so small? Nature's intelligent. In every living organism, there is a nature's intelligence that is working. That intelligence is different from the five elements. That intelligence is separate and different from the nature. Nature is composed of eight elements, I have already told you, and those eight elements, if you combine them, permutation and combination, that is what the modern science talks about. It is carbs and the protein and the fat and lot of stuff. That is how we understand. Why I'm saying. Now this next point is nature's intelligence. So nature's intelligence is programming the life of reproduction, life of safety, life guided, life of sleep, and life of the food. So they do not need to think. That is why they cannot think. They become aware, but they do not think. What is that awareness? Awareness is intelligence. It is like a computer, programmed. I switch on the button, opens up screen, and we are having a virtual session now. Uh, nature's intelligence. Once you switch on the button of a computer, and then it has a default setting. So every animal has a default setting, every plant. Why one seed of a banyan tree goes and becomes the tall. They are not the shrub, hardly 2 feet above the ground. They are not jealous of the banyan tree, but we are jealous. We are attached. Why? How? When? Where? That's what we are trying to understand. You have to listen to this again and then you have to apply in your daily life, in your relationship, and see what happens. You will never stop smiling and laughing. Did you understand this point? Nature gives Nature with the natural intelligence is working in all the living organisms, including the plants. I was looking at the Discovery Channel. Uh, Starfish? No. Some fish lives in depth in an ocean, and how it catches the prey. Intelligence, nature's intelligence. So when it looks at the prey, it pushes his abdomen out, the stomach out, and that stomach contains the acid, which is 10,000 times stronger than the acid that is contained in our stomach. So that acid is spread on the prey, and the food is almost broken into pieces, those small insects broken into pieces, almost at the stage of a digestion. Then he pushes his abdomen inside. Nature's intelligence. You cannot challenge it. It is unique. But the basic thing to survive, to reproduce, to sleep, and to eat, nature's intelligence, because they are programmed, the nature programmed all the living organisms. Because they are programmed, now the main thing comes. So there is a curse and there is a blessing being born as a human being. You have to understand this clearly. The more you understand it, you will find that you are living in joy. All animals except, now I'm using another word, all animals, all living organisms except we humans, they always live in a moment. They need not to practice meditation. How do you know? Simple example, you have lot of pets. Try this out. You have a dog, show him the stick. He will run away from you. Next moment you show him the food, they will come to you. So why I said they are living in a moment? Because that dog has forgotten your stick. But we carry those impressions in our mind. Why we carry? Why do any or other living beings do not carry? We are approaching that, and that will give us the root of the problem. Are you understanding why I gave this example? Oh yes, yes, I don't. I carry. My son has come and he asked me lot of, give me some money and lend me some money, and then I gave, and then he's not calling me, he's not, appreciating me. I think, we all think, not only you, but the dog and these animals, they are living in a moment. You throw them out of the house, they're okay. You bring them into the house, they are okay. You give them the food, they are okay. You become angry, they are okay. That is why majority of the people who have the pets and they said that they love their animal. Question is whether they love you or not. They get attached because why? Because nature's intelligence. It is not the dog, it is the intelligence from the nature going into the head of the dog, which we say it is an attraction that my love loves me, my dog loves me. Are you getting it? Do you see the nature's intelligence? What about us? We create an impression. This guy is so good. And in the first event when I met, and in the second event, that guy becomes bad. Who recognizes this? My mind. But why? Dog or no animal recognizes that way. They live in a moment. They are happy. Take an example, the same example. You have given the money. Okay? Now mom is very good. You have not given the money. Mom is now bad. Why can't we? Question is, when all animals and the living beings or living organisms, they need not to forget. They live in a moment. Because if I don't live in a moment, I create a lot of impressions of an event, of a relationship. What is all this? This is what is attachment. But this attachment comes by thinking in a particular way. But who is the thinking entity in me? Why it doesn't happen with animals and why it happens with me, you, and almost every human being? Why the Bill Gates says that he lived loveless life for 27 years. It means for 27 years he has been thinking. Animals live in a moment. Nature. So what is the reason? First, what is the reason? Reason provided by the nature is always good. We misuse it. Did you understand until this point? So the next point is we are given something extra. We are giving a little more, but not absolute. All living organisms, nature, intelligence, we human beings, nature, intelligence, plus an intellect, which is a free will, nature has given me a little freedom to think, to make a choice, to have a right choice or a wrong choice, depends on me. It has given a faculty of intellect to think. Clear? First point. So now the freedom is given to me whether I think bad of you or whether I think good of you. So when I think bad of you, I fall into unconsciousness. And when I think good of you, I rise in consciousness. In religion, it is known as sins and virtues. But here it is practical, rational, reason. Why humans being? So we have now. Did you understand this? Why we are going to the root of the problem. Nature, natural intelligence coming from the nature. Just accept it for the time being to understand. Plus an intellect. So I have an intellect. I observe. I know. And then I choose the option. I keep on thinking. That intellect is a spatial faculty not present in animal. Intelligence is present, but that intelligence is programmed. Intelligence is present in the computer. You have already heard of artificial intelligence, the AI. So you feed the AI all the intelligence AI into the computer. Now you ask the computer to give a solution, so it finds a solution. But they don't get attached to us. Do you see that? Very well. The intellect, the free will, and it is a new level of awareness given to us if you believe in God, given to us by the God to be the God-like. If you are highly rational, you don't believe in religion, don't believe in it. I'm giving another expression. So, the existence has given us that intellect to become an existence so that it is full of all intelligence. So it has given us a little freedom, not an absolute freedom. So our goal of human life is to rise in consciousness to reach to that absolute freedom. What is that absolute freedom? Is peace, is happiness, is love and truth and wisdom. When? All the time. Where? In all the locations. In what relationship? In all the relationships. Where do you reach? You start living in a moment. Animals are already living in a moment. Are you? Uh, because of the intellect, that is why we are human beings. The intellect has done a remarkable job in this world of science and technology. It is the intellect which has gone to the Mars and the moon. It is the intellect which chooses that this is the comfort. So let me have this thing to have the comfort. It is the intellect which thought of that. Let me have a computer to have a virtual session with you. It is the intellect which classifies this is the washroom and this is the kitchen and this is the living room and this is the bedroom and this is my house. You chase the lion into their cave, put the fire into it, they leave it, they find another place. Nature is intelligent. Ant. I can bet you can put the lizard in a very small cage. You have a big cage. They will adapt themselves. So we have reached nature, nature's intelligence plus intellect, and then we came to the intellect. It was given a little freedom. I can think of the worst. I can think of an attachment, then I will suffer. I think of the freedom and I'm free. Do you see that? So this is what our master says. What our master says, if I have a right, proper, and a good thought, I rise in consciousness. If I have a wrong, improper, bad thought in my head, I fall into unconsciousness, and that results into attachment, likes and dislikes, delusion, foolishness, suffering. Human beings, human race is given something extra. Something extra. If my computer hangs, my computer is not, I have requested the computer many a times, but it is not listening to me. Anyhow, what I want to say that if my computer hangs, my picture video hangs, wait for 1.5 minutes, it returns. I don't know why it is angry over me. Do we say that my computer is angry or smartphone is angry or any object that is angry? No. They follow the nature's law. So that intellect helps me to choose to live in a comfort. That intellect has invented so many things to be in the peace, and it is the same intellect which demands, let me have an absolute freedom, permanent peace and happiness and love and truth and wisdom, in spite of anyone, anything, any event. Those who do not have kids, are they not happy? It is based on your outlook and perception. Those who have many kids, are they really happy? So you see that. It is the intellect. Nature has almost full control over living beings except the humans. We are given little freedom. And if you misuse the freedom, then you are going to suffer. So you see that, just take a simple example, why the banyan tree is so tall and why a mint and cilantro are like a shrub. Why the turtle is so small, we don't question it. You see that we don't question. Why the ant is tiny? Why the lizard is like this? Why I'm saying, if we don't question nature's design, why I question others and also the myself? He has no time to call me, but he has taken so much from me. You are willing, you had the resources, you have given to him. Thank, appreciate God. I had those resources, that's why I spared those resources for my son. You cannot spare those resources to me, can you? Who is doing this? Intellect. Intellect is thinking in a right, proper way. I'm coming to the main topic now. No animal, the tiger doesn't want to become the cow. Oh, had I been the cow, so much of grass, I should not made any effort. It comes into the nature and the nature grows in and I will eat. I have not to, the cheetah. I need not to run so fast to catch a prey, and 80 times I fail, and on 80% I fail and 20% I succeed. They don't have blame and complaint. We want to become. They don't want to become. The rhino doesn't want to become a lion. Lion doesn't want to become a buffaloes. Or the turtle doesn't. Your turtle that you have doesn't want to become a dog, and dog. Do you see that? So that's why they don't have it. We always want to become something which is false, which is ignorance, which comes from the delusion. We want to become. What it means? It means at one level we are freedom, we are free. At other level we are bound by the nature. We want to become. We have a little freedom. We are not given the absolute freedom. Because we are not given the absolute freedom, that is why we want to become something to have an absolute freedom. And that causes the attachment. Because I want to become, say for example, I want to become a good father. So I need to be attached to my son and the daughter. Then I have to speak indirectly or directly that I am a good father, and then I have an expectation that they should acknowledge and they should respect me. But if they can't, I might have done a lot of things in their childhood which they had felt otherwise. They are not ready. Do you see? I want to become. I am not absolutely free, and that absolute freedom is realized by the Eastern wisdom, and that is what we are doing. What is in that absolute freedom? No attachment, no anxiety, no reaction, no blame, no complaint, no depression, no duality and a conflict. Then what is there? I recognize that I am of the nature of unconditional love, peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. I told you when, all the time. All the time. Animals do not want to become. Do you understand clearly? Animals do not want to become, so they live in a moment, We live in a projected moment. My mind, thought, attached, it projected happiness outside, and then it wants to let the future event be like this. They want to live in it. And I can tell you, as long as we are attached, we are anxious. As long as we are anxious, there is a delusion working in the background. As long as the delusion is working in the background, it results into 5 types of foolishness, and 5 types of foolishness acted upon by thought, speech, and action, and then it causes suffering. Now, the whole topic, if you listen it again, you will become clear. We want to become. In the process of becoming, I am attached to the body. When I'm attached to the body, what happens? Anything happens to the body, I get too much concern. I don't care, but I get too much attached to the body. How the nature has designed this body? Can you tell me? Body of any living organism, including the plants and animals, can survive forever? Answer is no. So by thinking, I created an idea of the birth and the death plus an attachment, and then I start suffering. Did you understand? So our master says, you are not the body, you transcend the body. Doesn't mean that you leave the body. You are still living in the body. You simply know that I'm not the body. You are still living in the same house. I'm not the house. You drive my car or your car, but it is not you. Did you understand? We need, through the intellect, this kind of a realization. I am a mother, but son is outside. I am rich, money is outside. I have a big mansion, mansion is outside. I am beautiful, beauty of the body, it is still outside. Do you know what I'm going to say? I'm the real self. It is inside. You cannot bring that real self in front of you. Think of it. You are the richest women in this world. The wealth is always outside. And what is outside, I'm attached in order to claim that I'm a richest person. But I am the real self. You need not to claim, you have to realize, recognize, I am of the nature of the real self. Attachment, everything goes away. First thing, We are the life. Life means breath. Breath means more than the breath. We say that it is prana. Prana means by which the living being, the body is alive. And this is energy. And the energy has two causative factors, hunger and the thirst. But after some time, even if you feed the body, energy is not supporting, and the energy is not supporting the body, and we leave the body. It is the nature's design, not mine, not yours, not anyone. Saying that I am the breath and I am the life is like the wave is saying that I am the water. Then come to the mind. We believe we are the because I'm attached, I'm expecting something. It is the thought in the mind, but my mind says this is what I am. So attachment hides, and I claim that this attachment is me, and I enter into anxiety. Why don't I examine my thought process? Coming from the intellect, right, proper, and the good thought, follow it. Right, good, opposite. I fall into consciousness. So when I'm attached to a girl, for example, or you can take when the girl is attached to or attracted to, or so-called first impression is the last impression, or it is the first love, all it is conditioned. It is conditioned. What is conditioned is designed by the nature. What is designed by the nature, you cannot make a choice. So when you don't make a choice, you don't use your intellect, you fall into love, you don't rise in love. You fall in, and as long as you are falling into love, which is nothing but attachment, clinging, do you think that you will be able to live in peace and happiness? So this mind, we first deeper inside, we don't say it, but we claim we are the mind, and that mind runs between likes and dislikes, attachment and detachment, pain and the pleasure, victory and the defeat all the time. That is the nature of the mind. We are the intellect. Last, I told you, nature has eightfold nature. Five elements: mind, intellect, ego. So we have come to the intellect. In the intellect, I have an I thought, which is the false I, which is the ego. But the intellect has a free will. So I thought also experiences that I have a freedom. But there is a problem with this I thought in the intellect. It has strong likes and dislikes. First, likes and dislikes takes the birth there. Then it goes to the mind. I keep on thinking. I create an attachment. Attachment causes the delusion, and delusion causes the foolishness, and foolishness causes the suffering. Are you clear? But the problem is, when I am the real self, why I don't recognize and realize it? That is what we are doing it. One reason. Second reason, as long as the attachment, duality, conflict are present in the mind, as long as I have lot of expectations from the world, the mind is already outside, searching happiness outside. in attachment, in likes, in dislikes, in jealousy, in hatred. How it can find the real self? I feel totally settled in that consciousness of peace, happiness, and wisdom. Even just by contemplating and reflecting, following each and every step, your mind recognizes all those events with where you were attached and deluded are dropped just by listening in love. If you are the highest level of a seeker. So in the intellect, that is why Master says consistently listening and learning, contemplation and reflection will remove all those thoughts, feelings, and emotions that causes the stress, anxiety, duality, conflict in my life. Then my mind is totally empty, and in that emptiness of the mind, revelation takes place, and you find that yes, there is a permanent peace, there is a happiness, there is a love, there is a truth, there is a wisdom. What is that nature of the real self? It does not have a name in the form. I am sitting at my home, you are sitting at your home. So, name and the form pertaining to the body is limited. We are given a little freedom, not absolute. Our goal is to find the absolute freedom. So then I start recognizing, is body me? No, I'm not the body. So I have broken that limitation. I'm attached to someone, though again I'm limited. I have to break free my mind from the attachment, and I have left this limitation also. I can bet you. You drop all the attachments from your life this week by thinking, you know what will happen to your mind? You'll be amazed. No, why the mind is not thinking now? Why my mind is in total sense of emptiness? Why, how I am able to perform all my tasks without a single thought in my mind? What are those simple? Going to the restroom, I need not to think. Preparing a coffee or a tea or a food or driving a car and talking to someone. Absolute freedom. Because of the attachment, my mind forces me to claim that I am the body, breath, mind, intellect, and the ego. That means the whole nature. It is like a wave, many waves in an ocean. The one wave thinks I am enjoying the pleasures of the world. So he is developing an attachment. Second wave is thinking what will happen if I am lost into the water. So scared, fear of death. Wave 3 says, look at me, I'm a hurricane in a storm. Wave 4. Wave 4 says, that I can wipe out the entire earth by raising the level of the water. Because of the ignorance and delusion, we think like this. And when we think like this, we have a problem. Why? That real self, that water, is none of the waves. Whether the wave one says, what this is, I'm enjoying the pleasures of the world. Wave 2 says, I'm scared. Wave 3 says that I'm attached. Wave 4 says, I'm a hurricane. See my power. So many people around you, maybe among your friends, that I'm more beautiful, I'm richer than you, and long list. That is what the hurricane is. Who thinks? Intellect. Is the intellect thinking rightly, properly? For raising my awareness, or I'm falling into awareness? I'm falling down. And falling down means attachment, delusion, foolishness. How it has come? By thinking and feeling. Do I have an opportunity to change this thought? Answer is yes. Why don't I change? But I forget. What is this forgetfulness? Because of attachment. That is what happens in binge eating. I forget. I have already eaten. I keep on eating. That is what happens in addiction. And a lot of problems. That is why I told you, I requested you, I pleaded you, please. Sarvesham Swastirabhavatu. You wake up in the morning and the first thing that you chant this mantra. Or you simply say it in English and contemplate and reflect. Let there be happiness for all. Let there be peace for all. Let there be completeness for all. Let there be an auspiciousness for all. So my intellect is getting the feedback from this mantra. It will not listen to the mind, which causes the attachment. When it will happen, it depends on you. What is your level of commitment? What is sincerity? What is the level of your intensity? How much is the past impressions left? All these factors. But one thing is sure, if you are consistent, one day it will happen. It has to happen. I want to remind you the first verse that we have been covering. First verse has 4 parts. I told you, recognize and realize the unconditional love of that real self, not of anything outside in the world. Second, oh foolish. So the Master is addressing to all of us that we are foolish, but why? So in 2 metaphor, he gives the answer. In the third line, when the appointed time of the death comes, means I have to leave this body. And the 4th line is that I am craving. What I'm craving? I am repeating, I am craving the rules of the grammar. That is the second metaphor. So I want to make it clear what happened. Did I tell you? You let me know. This master was walking into the streets of one of the oldest city in India, which is known as the spiritual city, Great scholars and great masters were born there. So he was walking beside the banks of the Ganges River with his students, and one 80-year-old guy who has written 10 books, sitting at the bank of the Ganges River, he was repeating the rules of the grammar. You have to understand these two metaphors clearly. That is our state of life every day. The master laughed, and this verse came into his mind. It was revealed. That is what we are learning. That is one part. And the second part is that, oh, so first let us take the fourth line. I'm repeating the rules of the grammar, even when I know it, because I have written so many books. Now take the reverse side of it. What is the reverse side? How many times I am into anxiety, duality, and a conflict yesterday? Oh, 5 times. Day before yesterday, 10 times. Before that, 15 times. Before that, no, not a single time. So now accumulate all the time. So every month for 30 days, maybe there are thousands of events, out of which 5 or 6 events I express my dissatisfaction, discomfort, and reaction. And the rest of the time I'm burning, my heart is burning. So the master is saying in the third line, when the appointed time of the death comes, will you continue to live into the same anxiety, duality, conflict? Did you understand this? I made it simple. Today I have an anxiety. Why? Because I was attached. Attached to, for example, my son. Tomorrow I'm attached to my computer, and the computer went off. Next day I'm pissed by the smartphone. That is how we say. The smartphone has nothing to do with the phone has nothing to do to piss me off. But thought that the way I think. And then I repent. I did the mistake. Now all these 5 thoughts are coming together. They disturb my sleep. And now we repeat the same thing. We have the same response. We have the same reaction. We have the same level of anxiety, duality, and a conflict every day. Every day? No, I would say every hour. Maybe one event, slow, lighter reaction or deep reaction. Depends on us. So every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year. How old I am? 65. So 65 years I have been repeating like this. I still get into anxiety. I have never found a permanent solution. And I have taken for granted. Why? I don't know. It is happening because of attachment, because of delusion, because of foolishness. I don't know it. Now I know it. So when I know, then what happens? I'm free. I am in peace and happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. Then what? Ah, Master, you rightly said, when appointed time of the death comes, I will continue to repeat the same no. Why no? The foolishness is gone. Why the foolishness? I have recognized the delusion. Delusion is gone. How the delusion, attachment and detachment, that is also gone. Does it mean that I don't express my love and care to everyone, to whom I really care, yes, I continue to do so. Because now I'm expressing my love and joy and happiness with you, minus attachment, minus delusion, minus foolishness. So there is no suffering. So when I'm expressing that peace and happiness with everyone, I'm rising in consciousness, and one day we will realize.